This is it. Super Bowl 53. The Rams and the Patriots. Which one of these two teams will hoist the Lombardi Trophy in Atlanta on February 3rd? Johnny Talk Sports here to bring you my Super Bowl 53 prediction between the Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots. So before we get into that, let me just acknowledge really quickly about how happy I was about the conference championship games. In years past, there's either been one game that's really good and one game that's really bad, or both games they were complete blowouts and a waste of time and not really good TV in a way. But the games for conference championship weekend, those were two of the best games I've ever seen, at least of the year. These were the two best games of the NFL season, if you ask me. Both of these games going into overtime, you can't ask for anything better. And also, there's been a lot of things going around on social media about how both the games, how there were missed calls and there was unnecessary calls that decided the game. But here's what I want to address real quick. We can't act like that was the one thing, that was the huge difference of what caused one team to win and caused one team to lose. We just have to drop it and accept that the calls were made and we have to move forward to the Super Bowl. I mean, there's really nothing that we can do about it at all. Although there was something this morning about that Roger Goodell has some type of power to reverse the decision or reverse the results or replay the whole game altogether or from that part where it was a missed call. But really, that's not going to happen because it's too complicated, and plus already the Rams have gotten handed that conference championship trophy, and plus Rams fans have already bought tickets to the game. So there's really no way possible. There's no way that there is going to be a replay of the game. There's no way they're going to redo it. So sure, it's nice. It's interesting to know that rule's in play, but it's not going to get used. We just got to move on. And we can't act like that was the call that cost the Saints. There are a lot of things that cost the Saints. One, the first two possessions the Saints had, they went down to the red zone and settled for field goals. That also could have cost the Saints. That's also a factor of why the Saints lost. And Drew Brees threw an interception overtime. They got the ball first. Threw an interception. Their defense gave up enough yards to allow a game-winning field goal. That's also another possible angle of the Saints losing. And we can't act like in the Patriots and the Chiefs game, we can't act like that the Patriots got all the calls. Even if it seems like that they did, it doesn't make a difference anyway. I mean, the Chiefs, they got shut out in the first half. The Chiefs that's an element of how the Chiefs lost, by getting shut out in the first half. Because the Patriots dominated the first half of the game. So, there's really nothing you can do about the calls anyway. We just got to move on. And on to Super Bowl 53's preview and predictions. So, let's really quickly talk about how both these teams got here. The Rams and the Patriots, these were both the 2 seeds, which is very surprising. It's kind of surprising the Patriots were a 2 seed because normally we're always talking about the Patriots have the number 1 seed, the team that's always the favorite year in and year out. And every single season, we all hear the same thing. When the Patriots have maybe 2 bad games in the season, it's always, are the Patriots done? Is this the end of the Patriots dynasty? And every single year the Patriots come out and they respond. They respond to the doubters. They respond to the questioners. They respond to the skeptical people. They respond to the authority. And the Rams made all of these acquisitions and they made all these moves in the offseason with trades, free agency, signing in Ndamukong Suh in free agency to pair up with Aaron Donald, signing Aqib Talib, trading for Marcus Peters. Those were big moves that got the Rams to where they are. The Rams this season, it was last season's Eagles. The Eagles made all of these free agency moves in the offseason, and it paid off and they won the Super Bowl. The Rams did the same thing this year, and they're in the Super Bowl with a chance to win it. So, 2 different approaches of how each team got here. Now, here's one thing that I want to find interesting. This is one of my keys to the game, as we're now getting into keys of the game. Here's the first key to the game. This is how the Patriots are going to win. If the Patriots are going to win this game, they have to shut down the running game of Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson. Now, Todd Gurley, he didn't see much of the field in that NFC Championship game. So it has to obviously be something with health reasons. It's got to be kind of a health factor, an injury factor. But Todd Gurley, I can't even imagine him. He's going to play a lot in this game, depending on if he is 50% or 75% or even 100%. Todd Gurley is going to have a significant amount of playing time in this game. In fact, him and C.J. Anderson, they might be the difference if the Rams end up winning this game. They will be a big factor in this matchup, is how they can run the football. Now, C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley, they dominated against the Cowboys in the divisional round. But they were kind of quiet in the NFC Championship game. But that's okay, though. But for the Rams to want to win the game, or if the Rams win this game, the running game has to step up for the Rams. Now, if the Rams are going to win, their secondary has to step up. Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, they've got to step up in the secondary game. There is a reason why the Rams made these moves on him for a moment like this. Aqib Talib has experience in the Super Bowl. He played in Super Bowl 50 with the Broncos, so Aqib Talib knows what it takes to win the Super Bowl. And Marcus Peters, he has a chance to fulfill a huge, major accomplishment in his career already. Because Marcus Peters, yes, maybe you could say Marcus Peters could be overrated. You could say this and that. But Marcus Peters, he's underappreciated in my opinion. Very underappreciated. And he didn't have a good time against the Saints in the first matchup. But in the NFC Championship game, he stepped up. He held Michael Thomas in check. So, another reason how the Rams are going to win the game. The third key for the Rams is going to be with Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh getting to Tom Brady, getting to him, getting right in between those offensive linemen to get to Tom Brady, force pressure on him, force him to make quick throws. And those are the three keys for the Rams to win this game. Now, if the Patriots are going to win this game, their running game has to step up because the Rams' run defense in the playoffs have held Ezekiel Elliott to 47 yards on 20 carries. They've held Alvin Kamara to 15 yards on 8 carries. And they've held Mark Ingram to 31 yards on 9 carries. So the Rams' defense, their rush defense, has stepped up to the plate so far in these playoffs. But the Patriots have an unsung hero of a weapon in Sony Michel. Because in the playoffs so far, Sony Michel has 53 carries for 242 yards and 5 touchdowns. So Sony Michel is going to be a key factor for the Patriots if they're going to win this football game. Now the second key for the Patriots, if they're going to win this football game, is the running back by committee with Sony Michel, James White, and Rex Burkhead. Now the Rams defense, they held Alvin Kamara in check in the NFC Championship game. But one thing that you don't want to forget is that Alvin Kamara had 11 catches for 96 yards in that NFC Championship game. And they're going to also have to pay attention. They're going to be careful with James White and Rex Burkhead. They're going to have to be on the lookout for those two in the short pass game. They've got to look out for those two. They've got to hold them in check because that is Tom Brady's strength. He likes dumping off to those running backs for short yards and yards after catch. So they've got to pay attention when those two are out on the field. And the third key for the Patriots to win is Julian Edelman. He's got to be a difference maker. Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, Rob Gronkowski. They've got to make a difference. In fact, here's where I think two of the games are going to be. Here's two of the battles that I think will decide the war in this one. The first battle is the Patriots running game versus the Rams run defense. Actually, scratch that. The first battle of this is going to be the running backs versus the run defense on each side. And the second battle is going to be the Rams secondary versus the Patriots receivers. Those are the two battles that I'm keeping an eye out on for this matchup. Those are the two battles I think will decide who wins this war between the Rams and the Patriots in Super Bowl 53. So ultimately what you're here for, the prediction. Now the prediction I have, it may surprise some people, but it may not surprise some people. I think by a score of 35-30, the Super Bowl 53 champions will be the New England Patriots. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but not an overwhelming score. I still think it's going to be more than the over right now. Right now, the over, as of this moment, is 57.5 points. I think it's going to be a little bit over. I think it's going to be about a 35-30 game. I think that's an appropriate range for a Super Bowl because I think it's going to be high-scoring, but not as high-scoring as, let's just say, the Rams and Chiefs on Monday Night Football early in the season. Not that kind of high-scoring, but kind of middle-tier scoring and kind of a little high-scoring, but not too high-scoring, kind of in the middle. 35-30 Patriots. I just think that James White, Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, I think those three running backs, the running game by committee on New England, is going to be a difference in the game. Yes, the Rams defense has stepped up to the occasion. They've held Zeke Elliott in check. They've held Alvin Kamara in check. And they've held Mark Ingram in check. But I think the difference is those short passes to the running backs in James White and Rex Burkhead. I think Sony Michel has a solid night. I think James White and Rex Burkhead, those are the two difference makers for the Patriots in this matchup. So, 35-30, I like the Patriots in this one. Comment your pick down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time